Greetings, fellow van builders. Welcome back to our build channel. Last episode, I had just finished up the lavatory enclosure, and now I'm going to be installing all the systems into it. The fans, the ducting for heat, lights, all that. I'm built a little control panel here. I actually have two fans that will be working in tandem, and I can use one or both, depending on what I have going on. I just wired up this little fan right here. It actually moves quite a bit of air despite its small size. But I'm testing everything, and that's all. So now I will talk about this tambour door. Okay, so I ordered this from a UK company. I think they're called Bespoke or something like that. I will link their website in the description in case you want to check them out. These are relatively inexpensive. These tambour doors, they kind of work like a roll-top desk. I've seen people install them online, and I've actually seen them in units, RVs, and I really like how they work. They're very straightforward to install, and they look professional when you're done. So anyway, that's the plan for the day. So I will knock out the little stuff, I think, first. The light and the ducting for all the fans and all that. And also I'm going to be putting a feed-through hatch up here in the corner for my kitchen sink hose, which has a nozzle on it, because I'm not installing plumbing into this lavatory enclosure. So I'm in the process of installing the duct system into this lav enclosure, and what I'm using is standard 2-inch PVC drain pipe, several connectors and angled connectors, and you can see it's a very complex series of bends. So I basically got the venting system installed, a little inline fan with some 2-inch Schedule 40 water drain. I'm just in the process now of siliconing everything, all the joints and all the penetrations through the bulkhead. This is made with a series of various elbows and, little pieces of Schedule 40 cut and adjusted and fitted, and you can get a kind of a nice clean installation like this just with a bit of fiddling. I got my witness marks here, so when I glued it together, I knew how everything lined up. And I just got to tidy up this wiring next, and then I can test it and show you how it all works. Okay, got the wiring tidied up here and temporarily hooked it up to a battery to test all this stuff. Everything seems lit up. This is an OZ light. It's waterproof. I think it's IP67, which is pretty high. And here's the fan units. Let me show you this real quick. A little touch button here. I like how this button's lit up so you can see it at night. And here's the actual control panel I built for the fan. That's one fan. That's the one built into the actual unit. That's the high, and then the low is it's going, but you can barely hear it. But and then here's the booster fan. So next I'll go up on the roof and show you the actual vent up there. So here's the fan up on the roof. It's a repurposed black tank vent fan, 2-speed. It's called Little Stanker. I don't even think this company's in business anymore. But I like this unit because it's small and it's stainless steel, very high quality. It's got a 2-speed fan built into it. And as you can see, it's moving a fair amount of air. To the part now where I'm going to be installing the tambour door itself. I got it all laid out here on my work area. Show you the various components. This is the upper and lower channel that the tambour door rides in. Low friction design. Here's a corner piece so you can go perpendicular in this direction. This L bracket here goes on the door jamb side, and I believe it's to hold this magnetic strip. And that magnetic strip will correspond to the magnetic strip in the doorway itself, or the door itself, to hold them together. It's all magnetic. There's no separate mechanical latch on this. I'm using 3M automotive side molding tape to glue these channels to the brackets that I'm going to be installing, which are these angle brackets. And the channel will sit on there thusly and be taped to it. These will be screwed to the sidewall. That's how I'm doing it. Every application is going to be slightly different. So the first step in my application for my tambour door installation is to fabricate some aluminum support brackets for the upper and lower tracks. I've got it pre-cut, pre-drilled, and some 3M tape on the back just to make sure. I'll be installing this first and then the track on top of it. This thing, it's just to kind of hold it in place. Well, I got the lower brackets in here to hold the lower track. This is what I got so far. And I think what I'm going to do next is install this track with some 3M tape and bond it to these aluminum brackets that I've got. And then I'm going to set the door in here and use the door to set the height of the upper track. The reason I'm doing that and not installing the track ahead of time is Bespoke's website says you only want to leave about a 1/2 millimeter of clearance for the door to slide, which 1/2 millimeter is almost nothing, you know what I mean? So there's no way I can measure that out and achieve that tolerance. So I think the best thing for me to do is put this lower track in, set the door in here temporarily, and use the height of the door to set the height for the upper track. So that's the game plan. All right, I'm trying to get this upper bracket, these upper brackets located properly so I can fasten them to the enclosure walls. There's a lot of moving parts to this. You've got to worry about creating a gap above the door to the bottom of the track. And I'm using 2 hacksaw blades stacked together to get the proper gap. Bespoke says a 1/2 millimeter, and I'm sitting at about a 1/16 of an inch, which is, I think, a little bit more. That's fine. Also, this gap here from top of the door to the bottom has to be consistent. I have some shims in here, and I've clamped this, and that allows me to locate the track in and out this way. Lots of moving parts, lots of figuring. I think I'm about ready to take this out of here, and I will adhere it to this the track to this aluminum angle. So here's a completed assembly with the track on the support brackets adhered on there with that 3M automotive molding tape. It's precisely located on these brackets, the relationship of the track to the brackets, that is, to maintain proper gaps and clearances. So I'm going to test fit this in there next, and if it all looks good, then I can start working on adhering it to the enclosure walls next. Well, I got the top bracket installed, and the door opens and closes very smoothly. There's not a lot of play in it and slop. My gaps are all even, and yeah, there's about a 1/16 of an inch clearance between the top of the door and the inside of the track, the bottom of it. So you can grab this and wiggle it up just slightly, but it's pretty snug, and that's the way I think it's supposed to be. So next, I got to get the bracket on here that holds the magnetic strip. Here's the bracket that holds the magnetic tape all mounted up. And I think that acts as a stop and a light block also. What the next step is to take this magnetic tape that they give you. It's self-adhesive, and you stick it to the magnet that's on the door. And it's just stuck here, see? And then you peel off the backing, and then you push it into this bracket, and it will stick to it, and supposedly that lines the two up perfectly, so I'm going to give that a try. Worked. Yeah, it works good actually. And the tape's lined up, so the finishing touch is the inside door handle here, and then I'm done. Perfect. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm glad I listened to you.
Is this metal?
Yeah, no. This is the handle? No. This part is plastic, all of it. The frame, the stop, all of that, the rails. So, what do you think about all that? Yeah, this is the way to go. That's my opinion.
I like this better.
Yeah, well, okay, you're not just saying that, I guess.
No, I do. Yeah?
This lab enclosure project's just about complete, finally. The wife really wanted to get this bath done so we could start using it. And I also wanted her to see this tambour door and get her opinion and approval, which you could see was kind of like pulling teeth. Yeah, I think the main issue for her was the final cost. It ended up costing a little more. This was her idea initially, so it's kind of ironic that it worked out that way. That's about it for this video. Really happy with how this tambour door turned out. Honestly, it's a lot more clean and professional than what I could come up with. So I'm happy I invested the time and effort and money into it. This is the spray nozzle for my kitchen sink, and I am bringing it through a little axis hatchet you saw me putting in, and this is closable thusly, and it goes down to my kitchen sink, which will be located approximately here. I'm just testing the hose length to see if it'll reach, and it does. Company's called TEC Vanlife, and I will be reviewing this in an upcoming episode. A really nice sink unit. No separate water supply. I'm using the water supply from my sink, so that ought to save me some time and effort. I don't know if I mentioned it, but that's a hot air duct. I am heating the enclosure, and of course the ventilation system. A lot happened on this video, so thanks again for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.